freewheeling cavalcade of circular motion, thus defined by the octagon table of double-wide mental introspection and dedicated utilitarian outward thinking in defense of zero content. Translation: we ain't got nothing. Hey folks, Dude here, coming yet again, another operation therein of, well, Dude After Dark, and we're back. So those people are in the room, those people out of the room. Do appreciate your kind attention, good stuff like that there. I am messing around a little bit. I already see that Barry K-Shot is in the room, so you get your gold star right off the bat, brother. Looking at things now, also, I am also operating also on Facebook, so those of you who don't know, who have never seen me before, or really truly have no idea of what you're getting into, you'll know that I pretty much have a binocular style of doing studio work. Obviously, off to my left, your right, because you have that reverse screen thing going on. But anyway, so off to my left, your right, I have my microphone duplexed with another microphone that's then plugged into my laptop way over there. And of course, I do have two cameras on board that are on my monitor as I'm looking at them directly. Of course, that being the YouTube side, you guys on the Facebook cannot see me wiggling my finger in front of that camera. Those guys over on the Facebook side, you now see me wiggling my finger in front of your camera, and the YouTube guys can't see that. Well, wider view on some cameras versus others, but it is literally two of my cameras, two of my units now being simulcast to two different functionalities on the interwebs, and I commend it to you for your kind indulgences for your guys to be with me tonight. So, looking at things as it is coming out of the gate, screaming, kicking, and shouting like a bull who just basically got the well, he just got right to the reproductives as he was coming out of the gate, and he's not too happy about it. Okay, anyway, I'm playing right here. Looking at the news sourcing, it is nothing short of freaking ridiculous with some of the overreach that the federal government is now suggesting that they have the ability to do such, and they can do these things and nitpicks, get snitty, and just intrude themselves upon every bit of your life's very existence. So, looking at things as it is, how do I get a stupid emoji thing now? Hang on a second here. No. Messing around here, trying to figure things out. Well, anyway, so I got these stupid little emojis on the bottom now, and I clicked on one like a dumbass, and now it's like, do you want to do more emojis? No, I don't want to do more emojis. I basically did my one emoji, and that was good enough. So, right out of the chute, right off the bat, the federal government is now in their well, how do I say this without saying this and being more than a little bit pejorative of about how would you describe yeah, okay, it would be their screaming wet dream of no, not caca sound guy. No, we're talking about their final physical ridiculous intrusion into every single bit of your very existence and snooping around way too much. Okay, I don't know what that one was, but okay, sure. Anyway, what it's now been kicked around is the federal government wanted to have access to all of your savings, the ability to snoop around. If you had an excess of $600 in there or $10,000 in there, well, if you do the math, $10,000 over the course of a year is really not that much money of expenditure. I mean, the average American truly does make quite a bit more than $10,000 a year. And of course, utilizing their charge accounts or their credit card or their debit card or, paying for those things in which they need to do on the daily basis or, life's evolution. The federal government was kicking around the idea of anytime that you went over $600, they were going to go, well, you've used more than $600. So we now are eminently curious. And we're now wondering why you're using more than $600. How could you do such a thing as using $600? And immediately the public pushback was as such that even the politicians were like, whoa, okay, not $600. We're maybe only thinking $10,000. $10,000 over the lifetime of 1 year of you doing daily expenditures is very, very easy to broach, okay? If you're thinking like paying your monthly rent, paying your electric bill, paying your car payments, paying for anything on a daily basis where, it's pretty much just standard life evolution of events, you're going to expend way more than $10,000. So the pushback on that one was also exceedingly don't even think about it. Well, anyway, so this is coming from TeamTuckerCarlson.com. The White House just changed the threshold for IRS snooping on bank accounts, $600 to $10,000. Okay, now here's the slight problem with that one. Okay, there is laws in place where they cannot do these things until they put in place new legislation. They can't just change policy and go, oh well, it's an executive order, we can do these things. No, because it's going to go to court, it's going to get challenged, and it's going to get it's just going to get beaten. Okay, there's no way in the world that they could try this stuff, and no matter what Joe Kaka really wants it to do. Sound guy. No, none of that. Okay, stop. None of that. No. All right. So anyway, if Joe Kaka, here we go again, folks. If Joe Kaka, Joe, I got him that time. Joe Kaka tries. Stop with the fort catalog. Okay, stop. You're going to make me turn you off, dude. All right. So anyway, the situation being is they raised the threshold from 600 to 10,000. Now, if you look at the table of events, the way that anybody does things in the federal government, when you put them under the gun of, hey, if you do this, we will boot your ass out because we're watching you do this. They change their tune almost immediately. And usually these guys in the politics tend to think along the lines of two ways of thinking. Either people are asleep, and they say this, people are asleep or they're aware. Now, if everybody starts contacting their Congress critter and going, I don't want the IRS snooping on any of my money, the federal government is then going to go, yeah, this is not such a bright idea. We threw this one out there and they kicked it back and they basically kicked it up our asses for even thinking about it. Stay on your politicians. Do not let them try to evoke something along the lines where they can snoop around on all your various savings and what have yous and go, hey, let's find out just how much money he has and where he's putting it. Because the very next thing they're going to do is they're going to come up with yes, this is the U.S. government debit card, and you don't need cash anymore. But we want to know every single place that you utilize this USA debit card. Yeah, there is a couple ways around this, and I'm not going to get into that here. But let's just say that the underground economy, let's just use that phrase, quote unquote, the underground economy does not utilize credit cards, debit cards, or anything that the federal government goes, yeah, okay, well, they just got together and he sold product X to this person utilizing this means of, financial disbursement. So that's going to be the first thing that has happened is immediately everybody's going to go, I'm just going to shelter my wealth. And they're going to start buying fungible, finite, just stuff. They're going to convert their cash into precious metals. If they're smart, they're going to put it in places like Bitcoin, where you cannot trace who has what. And that's one of the things that the governments really, truly don't like about Bitcoin is it's encrypted. They don't know who's got what. That's the best part about Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin being something that is not backed in something concrete, and I'm not even saying the federal government has concrete notions of complete and total fidelity with all their cash worthiness because it's fiat currency, okay? Since 1972, I think it was, we got rid of the gold standard. The money that they have in the entire federal treasury is what they say it's worth. So same thing can be said for all the other, financial institutions and all the other guys all around the planet. That money that they have is digital, okay? It is what they say it's worth. So here's the thing. When Italy, I think, was going to fail, they're like, oh, no, we can't allow them to fail. Because as soon as the first domino falls, the rest of the fake fiat economy of all this fake money, it all will fall. So that's the problem inherent with that one. So let me scroll on past that one. This is me kicking and, getting a little bit relevant on that one. But supposedly the Southwest and a couple of the airlines have backed down supposedly on this vaccine mandate. There is the rest of the story, though. These guys might not be flying and they might not be vaccinated, but they're on paid leave. That's not the same thing as utilizing your employees and saying, we're not going to, hang on, hang, I got to do this. Thor's hammer. We're not going to force our employees to get the shot to fly. That's a little bit different when you're playing cute and fast and loose, but you know what? They're doing it with their own money, so they can do whatever the hell they want to. I really don't care if they have pilots standing by and they're not being flying staff, but they're being paid for their time. Okay, that's fine, but the only downside is you can ask anybody that has done carrier landings, and there's not a whole hell of a lot of them unless you really know somebody's a good pilot. Those guys have to be in practice because they have to touch a plane down literally with the 3 arresting wires on a aircraft carrier, and they usually go for the second wire. They don't go for the first wire. They don't go for the third wire. They go for the middle wire. Now, you're taking a plane down at really fast because jet planes don't like to land slow, but you're trying to land that thing and you're trying to catch the second cable every time. And the other thing too is also the boats are moving around. They're pitching. Even an aircraft carrier does move around quite a bit. So they literally have to hit that wire every time, and it's constant practice. It's constant rote and repetition where these guys know by doing over and over and over and over again. Every time they do it, they're graded for their performance, and they do it all the time. Now, the dirty little secret, and this is the dirty, dirty little secret, is most of the time a plane is flying, it's automated. But here's the thing. When planes take off and planes fly and planes land, they're so tightly controlled in an area surrounding them. Call it the 360-degree bubble of don't even think of getting close to me, with air traffic controllers constantly covering all that stuff. And of course, the pilots themselves, really, most of the time, the plane is on autopilot. It has auto land, it has auto takeoff. Literally, there's a beam of radio that's shooting out from the airport that is like when the plane goes, all right, I got to fly into this beam of radio and I have to follow it down until I finally land. Now, when it gets close to the ground, the pilots actually are hands on the stick and they're actually flying the plane for the landing. But most of it getting on the approach of the airport and in the flight to the airport and from the airport is mostly automated. The pilots are pretty much there just for safety, but we're not quite there yet with the planes flying completely autonomously. We're not there yet by a long shot. And I would never even want to have a situation like that without at least one person in the cockpit as a just in case everything goes kerfuffled. Now, the thing about it is these guys are constantly doing that stuff. Now, by not flying, they're getting out of practice. By not doing it consistently, like with that constant training thing, like I was saying about the guys landing on aircraft carriers. When they land a plane, they want to basically know where they are, how they're doing it all the time by, not only just the instruments, by feel. So literally when they say they're going to an airport and they're hitting the numbers, that area where you see all the skid marks where the planes have always been constantly, consistently touching in, that's what they're trying to do. When they say hit the numbers, they're trying to hit the runway before the numbers. They want to get a consistent strike on the airport to the point where they plant the plane. And that's the other thing too, is everybody's like, wow, that guy was really rough on the landing. No, there's a reason why to get the plane down so hard. They want to get the plane down hard. So first and foremost, it makes contact. It's not skidding around. It's not everything's getting weird and loose. They want the plane to be stuck to the pavement before they finally reached enough speed where they could drop the nose gear. Because planes just don't go, they don't just go down flat. They go down, they strike the rear mains, and then they touch the nose, and then finally they do the deceleration mode till they finally go back to the terminal. Now, all that stuff involved is practice, man. These guys are insanely well trained, and it's something that they lose if they're not doing it consistently. So, Southwest, you're really going to want to rethink that one. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but supposedly the mega dragon of China's got a little problem now. So the deal with China, actually, I'm gonna have to kill this because this is a YouTube video. Hang on a second here. Let me get out of that one. I can break it down for you real quick and dirty. What's going on now is China has overridden their ability to manufacture enough steel and manufacture enough everything. They've really overwhelmed themselves because they've grown so fast, so exponentially that they've literally just outgrowth their entire power supply. Now they can keep building power supply stations and more generation areas and more coal and all the rest of that fun stuff. But you reach a saturation point eventually. But to get to that saturation point, they now have gone and they peaked their performance, but they're down here with their energy generation. So for them to come up to the level where they need to be is how many more years down the road? How many more coal-fired power plants they need to build? And all the rest of this fun stuff that really makes it very hard for them to do. Now, China being China, communist society, the guys that rule the place, they're going to say what you do, when you do it, and how you do it, or you don't score well in the the Facebook quote unquote of what they have, which is a social scoring thing, where if you lose points, you're not allowed to leave your territory, you're not allowed to do certain things, and if it's bad enough, you're not allowed to fly, you're not allowed to use these things, those things, and all these other things because your score has dropped. Now, the other thing too is also they now have gotten to the point where they're like, no, look, the primary source for the power will be towards the mechanization and the exclusionary of everybody else that really truly doesn't justify themselves as worthy. You don't get as much power. So all these people that were, now seeking to better, to better themselves, and they're seeing, okay, I now have cash. I now have got all these things to play with. Hey, I'm living more like an American. I have all these electronic toys to play with. Well, the government just said, guess what? You're not getting enough electricity. That's not a big deal because as long as the manufacturing base takes everything they need, you aren't that important. So that's how that works in China. Remember, the people are never important in China. It's always the party. It's always the country. The people come last. Always. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but there's really only one way to say this, okay? There's really only one way to say this. We're talking about President. That's right. So President President his public statements and screw-ups are nothing short of completely just wow. I cannot do it justice. I truly can't. Anyway, so the way, shape, and form is we're looking now at one of his most recent ones where he's trying to compare himself to the everyman, and it really was not pretty. I mean, it was not pretty. Supposedly, he was saying that he took a train to and from work in Washington, D.C. as a senator, to hang out with the family and go back to work the next day or whatever it was. But the Joe Kaka WTF moment of the day, quote, I commuted for 36 years as vice president after my wife and daughter were killed. His wife and daughter were killed way before he was vice pres, anything in the White House. He was a senator, I think, when on the cusp of that one occurring, or it occurred when he was in office, and then he married up with his second wife, and the rest of the recent memory therein. But he's still glitching up with this happened, that happened, and we kind of just everything kind of in between gets muddy. Anyway, so yeah, he's glitching things badly. Wow. We're seeing some incredible numbers start to take place, and it is not having to do with anything along the lines of Mr. Well, That's right. We're not talking about him, okay? We're talking about, of all things, that barometer that I kind of use. And it's one of these things that, I found kind of works for me, okay? Literally what it is I look around for ammo prices. So one of the classic bellwethers that I use is I look around for the what is it? The 1280 1400 round of long rifle ammunition, also known as the Remington ammo bucket. Now, right now we're seeing that coming down, and it's now $129.99. Now, at its peak, when the ammo crunch was at its absolute worst, I'd say probably obviously when President Kaka was going into office. Just give me 1 second here. when the ammo crunch was getting at its absolute worst and President was coming into office, I saw those buckets going 240, 260. I think I even saw a high of 280 to possibly even broaching $300 for 1,400 rounds. That's nothing short of completely ridiculous when you start having rimfire prices approaching centerfire prices, if not exceeding centerfire prices. Now, I can tell you for a fact, I've been doing, pretty much runs to Walmart, and I go down to the sporting department. Their shelves are bare. There is no ammo to be had. I think what possibly could be happening is they get the delivery in the morning. You get the old guy scroungers come in, they snag it all, and they buy it for their buddies who then put it up on Gun Broker or take it to gun shows and second sell it, and of course, make some profit on it. But the scarcity of just off the shelf ammo is kind of not fun. Now, going to Bass Pro, which is one of the big, mega sports stores around my area, I've gone in there and it is some ammo. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like great selection, but they do have some ammo. Prices are kind of high. And so I wasn't actually ready to buy some. But I remember at its absolute lowest, and I should have bought that bucket when I saw it. I should have. I just didn't think about it at the time. But the last time I saw that bucket on a shelf in Walmart, it was like $69. So the ammunition is starting to go back to, availability is starting to go back to the stage of being more affordable. Am I going to go out and just, hit the range and start rip firing like crazy? Not quite there yet. I mean, I stockpiled quite a bit, and I am not ready to go out and start just, going out and going completely just, okay. Well, maybe not quite that much there, sound guy. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I'm not going to go that way. Okay. I'm not. All right. I'm not. It would be nice, but it's one of those kind of thinking along the lines of, do I really want to expend those kind of rounds when replacing them right now is kind of really not so great? I mean, possibly you could go down there and just do the one magazine and, okay, I don't have a Mac 10 sound guy. No, I don't have a Mac 10. All right. I don't. But it would be fun to that was 32 rounds in a second and a half. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it would be fun, but I don't have that right now. Curious Entertainment, dementia sucks. And of course he's toasting NFA. Yes, absolutely. It's an annoyance, but it's something we all have to contend with. So anyway, ammunition prices are starting to come back down, and it's getting better in that regard. This one is going to be kind of on a personal note, and this is going to be just a public statement on how to interact with an Uber driver. Want to know the fastest way to get an Uber driver to cancel your ride? Call them and declare they're going the wrong way when you're still running the first passenger to their destination. Yes, that guy got canceled with great alacrity. What? Oh, are you going to? You're sniffing my leg. Are you going to? Come on. All right. Well, anyway, he's being annoying. I think I can't look at him. If I look at him, he's really not going to do it. Anyway, so yeah, that guy basically was calling me, going, "You're going the wrong way." It's like, no, I'm still in the first person here. I'll get to you in about 10 minutes. And at that point, it was just like, I'm not dealing with you. You're entirely too stupid to play with. Bloop. Kick that rod off my queue. Scroll. I do have many multiple instances of where I can flag into this, but right now, this whole thing with Alec Baldwin. Wow. I mean, how do you not have firearms instruction and ensure that everybody around you is going to be safe? I mean, the only thing I could come up with is just, you're just a hard charging socialist that really, truly just you're content in your ignorance because the NRA is just bad, and you're going to follow in lockstep with the rest of those guys who truly, absolutely hate firearms, except for they're making you money. And well, you got to remember the last group of people that had that kind of a just ridiculous mindset was the National German Socialist Workers' Party, also known as the Nazis. Um, Sound guy, I don't know where you're going with that one, dude, but sure. Okay. Anyway, so the raging socialist side of Hollywood, also known as the Alec Baldwin Group, um, pretty much screwed the pooch. And like I said, I got a bunch of stories to flag in here, but literally, and I've had discussions with my brother who happens to be an actor, and he actually has performed on stage, screen, and TV. So he does actually do the stuff. He's working his way in, and yes, he is actually a member of like SAG and AFTA and all these other things because he is actually a screenwriter and an actor. But we've gone back and forth, and he's like, "Oh no, you're supposed to be handed the gun, and everything's completely safe." And we've gone back and forth with that one. I was like, dude, he really should have taken a gun safety course politically. And this has been the cutting point between us. It's like the cutting point on this one is going to be politically. He said anything to do with the NRA is so bad, I will have nothing to do with them, that he refused to take a firearms training course. Now, I bring to mention, you guys got to see this video if you haven't already seen it. But when you have Keanu Reeves doing like IPSC style shooting, and he's like doing full on target on, bing 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 bing, transition to shotgun, bing 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 bing, transition to rifle, bing 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 bing. Dude is good. Dude is very good, and there's a reason why he's very good. Is because he was trained correctly how to do it. Now, there's other stories flagging in here, so stand by on that one. I'm going to go through my stack of stuff, and other Alec Baldwin stuff is going to be coming up. But right off the bat, huge, major, ridiculous, bad, and I do mean bad, could be suggested to say that truly that everybody from top on down completely ruined that shoot. Wow. So scrolly. Hang on a second here. Scroll. Some of the gas prices are just bloody damn ridiculous. I posted up a story. It'll be later on, but wow. And truly, it's the case of the guys in the White House, the guys in the Congress and Senate are the ones why we're seeking to exhaust our bank accounts, paying for the gas tank, which really never should be this way. Begging, begging OPEC for more gas, and they're like, "Yeah, that's nice. Go away." They're not going to do that. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but Sweden has officially suspended the Moderna COVID-19 vaccine indefinitely after vaccinated patients started developing crippling heart disease. Yeah, that seems to be a continuing thing with these mRNA things. Yuck. Scroll. Some of these things are, it's more meme than story, but I don't know if you caught up on this one, but supposedly also concerning the thing with Alec Baldwin, the firearm was used offset as a target pistol. It had numerous cases of malfunction, or at least that's the news story being bandied about. It had malfunctions. Well, square ass, the difference between a live round and a blank round is it has a bullet or it doesn't. That's not a malfunction of the firearm. That's a malfunction of the person using the firearm. But supposedly that firearm was used on and off set. Now, if you think about the way most things take place on a movie set, it's very controlled, and there is the strident, hard run war rule from time and eternal. If you're on a firearms live set, there is no ammunition around. It is only blanks allowed in that sphere of influence. But supposedly that firearm was used offset and it was used recreationally. Yeah. That's all bad juju, man. There's no reason in the world why anybody should be using, a fully functional firearm for those kind of things anyway, because most of the time what they'll do is they'll have something called a bore restrictor. Now, what that'll be is it'll be a piece of metal screwed halfway down the barrel. And what it does is it basically gives a small hole to make the gas back up and give a bigger flash. Now, blank powder is more like flash powder than gunpowder. It is really, really, really fast. Just give me 1 second here. I'm sure you guys have seen videos where people dump out gunpowder and they let it off and it kind of goes, it burns for a little while. Well, if you do that to flash powder or blank powder, it just goes poof. I mean, it's almost like watching black powder. It just goes poof. It all just, expends itself almost immediately. Now, the thing about it is if you have an old firearm that's not a well-constructed firearm, if there's a projectile in front of a blank cartridge, most times the gun will just grenade. It just can't hold that kind of pressure that breaks. Now, if you have a situation where you have a 44 Magnum or one of the other really existing, extremely strong firearms that can take that kind of pressure, it'll put something out the bore and it'll definitely kill somebody. Now, blanks themselves also are not toys. There was an actor by the name of John Eric Hexum, and years ago, he was messing around on the set, had a 44 Magnum blank revolver, put it to his head, and he's like, hey, guys, watch this. Bam. Well, a 44 Magnum blank still is a lot of power, and he put it to his head. It basically gave him a compartment fracture, spat the bone fragments in his brain, and literally killed him right then and there. DRT, dead right there. So they're not jokes. I mean, of course, Brandon Lee, he had situations where people were unloading and loading weapons with dummy cartridges, which is basically just a cartridge with a fake bullet on it or a real bullet on it. No powder, no primer, can't do anything. If you drop it, if you hit it, it doesn't do anything. It's basically a couple pieces of metal, and that's all it does. Is there for looks. Now, supposedly with Brandon Lee, one of those dummy rounds, they put it in the chamber, somebody bumped the gun or something, the bullet fell out and went into the barrel, then they put a blank cartridge behind it, and it was a 44 Magnum revolver, and it was strong enough to hold the pressure and put that bullet out and through him and kill him, and sad occasion for everybody involved. Now, it's one of those accident things that you really, truly got to be careful with, but in any kind of gun handling, most of the time when they do those scenes, it's not just like, okay, here's the gun. You basically go to a room and just, spray fire. Everybody's dead, blah, 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 blah. We'll pick up the quote unquote bodies and, reshoot if it doesn't look right. Usually there's a couple setups. The guy comes in, he's carrying a fake gun because carrying a fake gun is much safer than giving an actor a real firearm where they could be banging it on something. They could injure themselves. Obviously, if it was loaded, it would go off accidentally. So they bring in what's called a rubber gun or a rubber duck. It literally is a very authentic looking fake gun. As a matter of fact, if you ever watched the movie Extraction with the guy who played Thor, supposedly, because gun laws are so strict in India, there is no firearms allowed in there whatsoever. Every single round in there, every single shot fired, every single cartridge ejected, every single bullet strike was all CGI. Now, I got to tell you, I've watched Extraction like 2 or 3 times. It is really, really well done. And trust me, I can see fake stuff from a mile away when it's done with CGI. That looked good. They really did a hell of a nice job on it. As a matter of fact, it was only after hearing about being at CGI that I watched the movie, and paid attention to it. Could I really actually kind of tell? But they really did a hell of a good job. And Extraction 2 should be coming out fairly soon. So I'm going to watch that as well because Extraction 1 was pretty badass. Even with using, fake guns that don't go bang, they did a hell of a nice job on that weapon usage. And it was very, very well done. I got to give them credit. But essentially, the situation they're in is, you have situations where people are doing stuff that is just inherently unsafe. They don't know how to use the firearms properly. They haven't been properly instructed. And of course, there's that other thing too, is anybody in the business will tell you the first thing you do with any gun that anybody hands you, you come into possession of, or is in your sphere of influence, the very first thing you do is you pop that thing open and you check its status of load. Now, the other thing, too, is also, oh, yeah, it's loaded with blanks. Well, if I was him, what I would have done is I would have put the thing on half cock and I would have spun the cylinder and I would have looked at the fronts of the cartridges. Just be on the safe side. Then if you want to really get hardcore, you have the thing on half cock, you put it in between two cylinders. So you're basically looking at like the web in between the two, and you look down the barrel while shining a flash on it, make sure there's no bore obstructions. So there's nothing that's going to come out, there's nothing that's going to go through, and nobody's going to get hurt. Now, supposedly, when they were doing this shoot, they were shooting at a plexiglass shield that was intended to stop the blank cartridge from expending powder in the faces of people, or the wad, or anything else, metal shards. I mean, anything is inherently possible when you put things behind things that have power. Anything can happen. So they had this plexiglass shield. Well, it ain't going to hold up to a 45 long Colt. And it punched right through, killed the girl, injured the guy. So that's basically the nutshell how that one ran. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. I'm going to jump off the gun stuff for a second here. I don't know if you guys heard about this one or not, but supposedly the western counties in Maryland. Now, if you look at Maryland, Maryland is like, it's kind of like a banana. Yeah, that's it. Maryland is kind of like a banana. You have like DC down here, Baltimore is up here, and way out west you have a town called Cumberland. Well, obviously you got Pennsylvania, you got West Virginia, and you got Virginia. Well, the guys out west on the end of the end of the end of the banana, the guys on the end of the banana / Maryland, they want to jump out of Maryland and they want to join up with West Virginia. Why? Because those counties in Maryland are stridently conservative, stridently red, and they want to join up with West Virginia because West Virginia looks a whole hell of a lot better than the politics in Maryland. So they now have filed and they were requesting to succeed, and they want to leave and join up with West Virginia. I'd really, truly love to live out that way, especially if it was in West Virginia. That'd be an easy thing to do. Curious Entertainment in the room says, don't forget the armor on set was very green and was very nervous about the job. Dude, I got more news stories coming up about her, and wow, just wow. Okay, but I want to break it up. I don't want to keep going on about, here it says all this stuff about Alec Baldwin. He's an anti-gunner. It gets old. Okay, it's just, it becomes very, very old hat when you keep talking about liberals and their hate for the firearms. Okay, I just ick. All right. That tea is dead. Anyway, so Scrolly. I posted up a video. I'm just going to, this is going to be an in-house shill. Posted up a video on my my 80s podcast channel, and literally what I did was I was doing some research, and of all things, my little, I say little, but my little 128 gigabyte. Hang on a second, I gotta find the duck. Hang on, I've been doing that the whole time of the video. I did it. I should have said it correctly, but I did it wrong. I did it wrong. Okay. I did it wrong. It should be gigabyte, not megabyte. Okay. Should be gigabyte, not megabyte. What the heck did I do with it? All right. Well, I'll find it later, but it's the duck quack. 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 I should have said it correctly. Okay. Anyway, all right. So I should have. That's where it is. I found it. So I should have said gigabyte, not megabyte. See, that's the sound I was looking for. Gigabyte, not megabyte. See, okay. So quack. We're fine. Okay, good. All right, good. All right, I got the quack in it. Right, you don't have to do anything, sound guy. I fixed it. So anyway, basically what I found is this video. They were talking about taking a old spec phone, this one is a Note 9, and I really am not thinking about upgrading anytime soon because I do have a headphone jack. I really like having the pen to write it with stuff, and it's just a good worker for me. But essentially what this guy was saying is like, you want to upgrade your phone and make it something more modern? Go find yourself a 512 gigabyte, didn't say megabyte, gigabyte, and find yourself a 512 gigabyte card. You have a 1T smartphone. And I found these guys new in the box, unused, unlocked, ready to rock. So literally you could find the phone, find the card, shipping and everything under $500. You would have a 1 terabyte smartphone. I mean, this thing's got a 128 gig card in it. It's a 128 gig phone. I have yet to fill it up. I can only imagine how much this thing would be just absolutely crazy with a 1T capacity. Holy crap, man. But anyway, so I was talking about that, and I give basically the specs and where to look for stuff. And I call it the 1 terabyte smartphone for the common man for under $500. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not. This one is flipping hilarious. I could not do this justice. But Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida, on down. These guys are badasses. State Surgeon General Joseph Latipo. Joseph Latipo was asked to leave a meeting at the office of a state senator who told him that she had a serious medical condition. Guess what, folks? She's a liberal, probably. But she's a Democrat state senator, Tina Polsky, who was asking visitors in the building to be respectful of social interactions. Polsky, who represents parts of Broward and Palm Beach counties, very blue areas in Florida. Believe you me. Had yet not made public her breast cancer diagnosis, but instead she told this guy, "You got to leave or wear a mask." Now, here's the funny part. She's a white chick, dude's a black dude. Wow. If you want to talk about having a set of nuts, that's that chick right there. But she's kind of screaming Mimi-eyed, was like, "Oh no, I have cancer. I'm afraid of COVID." It's like, if you got cancer and you're afraid of COVID, you've already been exposed a bazillion times. Sorry. Oh, man. Got a new person in the room, Malignant Cell. Okay, but what's your favorite pizza? Well, if you can't tell by the brogue, I'm a native New Yorker. I'm from the Bronx. Pretty much any pizza is my favorite pizza. Although I will specify it has to be done correctly. If you do some foo-foo pizza and it sucks, I'm going to call you on it. But, sucky pizza sometimes is not bad pizza, because just like sex, even bad sex is still sex. That's just like with pizza. Bad pizza is still pizza. But really not great executed pizza. No, you basically just said, "Hey, what do you got going on here?" And the girl pulled off her drawers and you just went, "Ah, don't want the banana." No, that's bad pizza. Let's see. Scroll. I don't know if you guys caught up in this one or not, but the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, the armorer on the movie Rust, which was the incident that took place with Alec Baldwin, she actually deleted all of her social accounts. Now, I've said this time and eternal. You can look at any of my old videos. You can see this for exactly what it is. You guys know me for time and eternal. I've been stating this one from day one. Never, ever put anything on the internet that you won't say to a person in your face, or something that you're ever truly going to regret. And I've stood by that statement forever. Never put anything on your internet that you're ever going to regret later. Why? Because there is no delete button on the internet. Somebody's going to go give a screen grab. Somebody's going to download it. Somebody's going to copy it. There's going to be someplace archived on the interwebs that you will not have it in your influence to go, "Oh, I didn't want you guys to look at that. That was a mistake to post that up there." Yes. Don't put anything on the internet that's going to come back and bite you in the ass, because well, it's out there. Somebody's going to have a copy of it, and it's never going to go away. Okay. It's just out there. All right. When you put that stuff out there, you really got to be careful. Mostly because it's just never, ever going to go away. Okay. It's just not. Right. You put it out there. It's out there. You're trying to delete it. And, well, yeah, it just got you. Right there in the boo-boo. And it's not going away. CLUS, do you know any square thin crust pizzas in Maryland, D.C. area besides Lido's? Last one here in Maryland, in Northern Virginia, closed about 8 years ago. Been looking ever since. Oh, dude. Square pizza is Litos. Litos. Okay, I'll be no. I'll break it down for you guys very simplistically for Litos. Litos. The toppings are spot on. The sauce is The cheese is The crust absolutely sucks. I mean, it's like flour and water. Just like brings nothing to the table. It is not a great crust. Is it a good pizza? Eh, eh, eh. I can eat it. Is it my first choice? No, not by a long shot. Um, Square thin crust pizza in Maryland, D.C. area besides Litos. Dude, you're looking for almost like a Chicago thing where they basically cut the pizza into like squares. Um, wow. Square thin crust pizza in Maryland, D.C. area. Okay, now you're gonna make me work here. You're gonna make me work. You're gonna make me work. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Ugh. Yeah, well, if you do that, okay. Here's what you do, CLUS. If you basically do that, yeah, grottos, dude. Oh no, no, no. The thing about grottos is I've even asked people from like Delaware and like that area. It's like, what's the deal about grotto? It's like, well, that's the pizza place we have. um, it's okay when you're down to the beach. Yeah, okay. Grotto. Those people who don't know the East Coast, Grotto's Pizza on like the East Coast and like like you're talking like down the ocean, like you're talking like Delaware and Maryland East Coast, like you're down on the ocean, like Rehoboth and Ocean City and those kind of areas, and obviously all over Delaware. But Grotto Pizza is like the big pizza chain in that area. Is it great pizza? Not really, but it's pizza. I mean, it's like it's pizza when you need pizza. If you got to have pizza, there's pizza. My fallback, believe it or not, sometimes is I really like the sucky 7-Eleven pizza. What's in it? I don't know. I don't want to know, but it's consistent at least. It's going to be sucky, and it's consistent. Grottos is adequate. I mean, if you're looking for pizza, it's there. What's my first choice? It was Bertucci's because they had wood-fired ovens. But last time Mrs. Dude went there, she said that oh wow, it was just not good. She said essentially that, well, the last time that she went there, it was just yeah, it's yeah, it didn't work out well. She was very, very like, this is not good stuff. So if that's your fallback and Grottos is around, it's adequate. I wouldn't say it's my first choice, but yeah. So she deleted all her social stuff, and it gets worse, folks. I got more news stories, but I'm trying to skip around it as much as possible. Uh, but man, I got to tell you what, some of this stuff coming out here is really, truly interesting. Uh, this has just come out. This is from the CDC itself. Even Facebook was just like, it's from the CDC. Well, we'll have to put some little stupid thing at the bottom and say, it's from the CDC. Yeah, the CDC is this, that, and the other thing. So anyway, the CDC has admitted that vaccines do not stop the spread. There were similar viral loads found between vaccinated and unvaccinated. Furthermore, it is becoming increasingly clear that vaccines provide a significant vector for the transmission of Delta virus. The long-term side effects of the vaccine are still unknown, and there are case studies that show vaccines can occasionally trigger a dangerous condition where the virus variants or serotypes are made deadlier due to antibody-dependent enhancement. Read like the kind of stuff that mRNA does. Yeah, we're talking like not good stuff, man. No, it would be definitely a bad case of no, it would not be death by snoo snoo. No, sound guy, it would not be death by snoo snoo. Okay, more like that's what it would be like. Okay. Ugh, wow. Oh, jeez. All right. So anyway, I'll stop at the ding, man. Jeez. All right. So, anyway, they say in this bracketed thing from the CDC, large public gatherings in a Massachusetts town led to COVID-19 cases among fully vaccinated people, which were caused by the Delta variant. It ain't working so good. Excuse me, I need more beverages. This one's very interesting. This one coming in from patriotalerts.com. A federal judge is now allowing Texas to seek internal documents from Facebook, Twitter, and Google regarding how they censor conservatives. Oh, my stars and garters. This one is going to be not interesting. So, a federal judge in Texas is allowed the state to seek documents from social media giants, Facebook, Twitter, and Google. A federal judge allowed Texas to seek the internal documents from these sources because mostly they were like, oh, no, these guys are talking good about Republicans. Yeah, we can't allow that, okay? That's just, no, stop. Can't allow it. Nope. We have to stop them. No, Stan, we gotta stop. No. No. We're talking this, not this. My cats hate that sound effect. I mean, they really hate that sound effect. So let me scroll here. Let's see. This one coming in from Team Tucker Carlson, believe it or not, but a 17-year-old boy dies of a heart attack after having a COVID vaccine. A 17-year-old Canadian boy died from complications of the COVID-19 vaccine 2 weeks after receiving the injection. Sean Hartman suffered multiple health problems after the injection. Hang on a second here. I got to jump to the link. 2 weeks after having the injection, suffered multiple heart problems after the shot and passed away 2 weeks later. But he supposedly had to get the shot to be able to play hockey in an arena where the shot was required for entry. Quote, Sean was born on January 31, 2004, and since then there was nothing that Sean was more passionate about than sports, especially hockey. He played his entire life, reads his GoFundMe page. Quote, he started his hockey career playing for the Beaton Stingers and went to play for the TNT and Allison. Watch or play, Sean just loved the game. Let's see here. There was a protest against the deadly vaccines following his death. Sean's father posted several heartbreaking tweets following his son's death. Does not rule out that the vaccine killed his son. Stuff like this is just sad, and some of it is truly a case of just there's some people, their genetics are such, they react to this stuff, they react poorly, it does something to them, and in the corresponding after effects, it just wipes them out. It's just a damn shame, man. You never know who this stuff's really going to strike badly upon. Supposedly there's somebody else that suffered from this. Australian actress Mel Stewart is fighting for her life after she suffered a stroke after taking the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine. The 40-year-old actress suffered a rare blood clotting side effect following the injection. Now, this is one of those things that strikes a little close to home for me, is my friends in Australia were forced, and this is mandated stuff in Australia, were forced to take the shot. And because they had to take the case of, they were basically being almost like starved out, where take the shot, they wouldn't be able to do certain things, they wouldn't be allowed to do certain stuff, they wouldn't be allowed to work, and they had to take the AstraZeneca, which is being foisted as, oh yeah, Mike, this one's perfectly safe. Just take the Astra. Take the Astra. Yuck, just yuck. Well, anyway, so this actress suffered a stroke, and after taking the AstraZeneca, 40-year-old actress suffered rare blood clotting side effects following the AZ vaccine injection. Still reportedly continues to be an advocate for the vaccine. Wow. But she's supposedly fighting for her life in ICU after suffering a stroke caused by AZ's vaccine's rare blood clotting side effects. Yeah. Yeah, it's called thrombosis with thrombocytopenia. It's an extremely rare condition involving low blood platelet levels, and only 156 cases of illness have been reported, with nearly 13 million doses of AstraZeneca administered in Australia. Now, here's the thing. They said 13 million doses. The population of Australia is not 13 million. It's closer to 30 million. 36 million, I believe, to be actually correct. So 1/3 of the population, maybe? Or is that a two-shot thing where they're going, oh, yeah, well, only, 6.5 million got it to both shots? Yeah. Of these, only 8 have died. Still unclear whether those could be attributed to underlying conditions. Chance of suffering this rare side effect is very low to occur in about 4 to 6 people in every million after they're vaccinated. According to Australian government website. Yeah. So they raised a GoFundMe, I guess, to basically pay for medical bills or something. But wow. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but this one is one that they really, truly don't like to talk about in the news. But it's called herd immunity, people. You expose everybody to something, they all get it, they all pass it around, eventually become immune to it. That's the herd getting it and becoming immune. Herd immunity. This is from Patriot Alerts. Just in, Florida now has the lowest COVID infection rate in the country. Ever since Joe Biden was installed in the White House, has repeatedly took jabs at Florida, not following the science. Biden even attempted to cut out the supply of life-saving, mononucleus, whatever, But basically what it is the herd immunity is taking place where, some people have gotten vaccinations and some people have just been exposed and they now got the antibodies, like myself. I basically have had COVID. I got the antibodies. I'm not going back and getting the vaccination. There's no reason for it. I've already had it, been through it. It wasn't that big a deal. I'm good. I don't know if you guys caught up on this one or not, but this was just the other day. I think it was in New Jersey, I believe. But yeah, supposedly Joe Kaka was standing at the lectern, got done speaking, turned, and had his hand out like he was going to shake somebody's hand. And everybody's like, what is this guy doing? Well, he's got his hand out like he's going to shake people. And then he goes, oh, no mask on. Basically calls to his hand, walks down the stairs, and there's like numerous security guys all wearing masks, walks up to them holding out his hand, and they're like, no. So then they go walking him around. Of course, the Secret Service is like, how do we keep this secure now? He's walking around without a mask and shaking people's hands. Yeah. And the whole thing about, like, did you see the cornholio pose where he was doing something and kind of standing there like this, doing the cornholio pose? Everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? Cornholio. It was like, man, what are you doing? So yeah, the brain cells are not exactly firing 100% there. Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard about this one. This is going back to the Alec Baldwin thing, but supposedly detectives found loose boxed ammo in a fanny pack on the Rust set. Remember when I was telling you about that whole thing about, live ammo doesn't belong on any movie set when they're using blanks? Sound guy, no. No zone. No zone. You just went square into the no zone there, Mr. Sound Guy. Yeah, that was straight on no zone, okay? No. That was
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, it's definitely game over. All right. So anyway, so they found ammo. Holy crap. Now, I don't know if you guys caught up with this one or not, but this one is a classic Washington Post thing. Now, if you guys don't know, a lot of people refer to the Washington Post as Pravda on the Potomac. Why? because they have such stridently left wing, just from time and eternal. And those guys have been just, they're left of Lenin. But anyway, we refer to them classically as Pravda on the Potomac. Now, here's a picture of a store with bare shelves, right? Washington Post, 6:37 a.m., October 19, 2021. Washington Post at Washington Post. Opinion. Don't rant about short-staffed stores and supply chain woes. Try to lower expectations. Opinion. Don't rant about short. American consumers might have been spoiled, but generations of them have also dealt with shortages of some kind. Now it's our turn. Okay. You want to be completely honest here. Let's be completely honest here, okay? The Great Depression happened in 1929. The stock market crash. And continued on, and continued on, and continued on. And then, of course, Franklin Delano Roosevelt got into office during the Depression. Wrote it into World War II, but he got into the office on the cusp of the Depression. His Great Society stuff, possibly, and with good knowledge, people then think that it continued on and made the Depression last longer. These overreaching government policies, the gross over expenditure, the reallocation of your personal wealth to other things, and doing things that are completely just, unworthy of the federal government to do when you could probably just do them better on your own. That is the problem inherent with having centralized control. Now, notice, if you look at full circle stuff, and you tend to be like a student of history, a little bit like myself here, but you look at things as things are going right now. When Jimmy Carter was in office and he does gross overreach of stuff, like on the cusp of just after Vietnam, we had the malaise days. And you look up the numbers and you look up the kind of stuff that we were doing, it's very, very Jimmy Carter-esque, the stuff that Joe Biden is currently doing, his administration is doing, the Congress, the Senate, all following in lockstep to try to further the centralization of power by the federal government to do those things that we better can do on our own. CLUS, the Washington compost. Very true, dude. I've actually put it in bird cages before, and the bird's like, I refuse to crap on that. No. Put something else in there. I'm not going to crap on that. But anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of just short-sighted leftist just mantra in lockstep that these guys in the Washington Post have been constantly positing the notion of. And of course, Bezos bought them or something, or whoever owns the Washington Post at this point. But they are continuing on doing the same stuff that they've always done. They're not any different. Coming on 10 o'clock time period, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. I'm not going to run real long, but I really, truly don't want to beat this Alec Baldwin thing to death. But it is what it is, and we're seeing the facts come out. And, man, I'll tell you what, it is a massive mistake, because mostly, I'll tell you the biggest problem is most times that you have, Democrats, they don't know the difference between a banana and a banana. They have no idea what's the difference between a banana and a banana. Those of you who do know what a PMAG banana is, this one is the 40 banana bunch. The 40 banana bunch. Yeah, you guys should have some of those in your collection. Failing that, possibly there's always the 30 banana bunch. Personally, I'm kind of trying, I'm actually thinking things through, and I'm kind of seeing that, the size difference is such between the two bananas that I'm tending to think that 10 more bananas in the bunch might be a little better. I mean, because, the size difference is really kind of negligible when you start talking about, I'm trying to save my bacon. I think I want the bigger bunch of bananas. So I'm going to break up with this one, folks. I appreciate your kind attention. You guys hanging out with me tonight. You got many other places to go, but you decided to hang out with me. And, you decide to come here and hang out and all the rest of the good stuff like that there. Never appreciate you guys, ever enough, but, possibly too much in public. I'm going to have to probably maybe rethink that one. But, no, I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, appreciate you guys hanging out with me. You got many other places to go on a Tuesday, but you guys decided to hang out with me, and you guys hung out with me. And, of course, now I'm also simulcast on Facebook. So good stuff like that there. And I guess we can just fire things up and do things next week. All right, so I'm gonna break up with this one, folks. Eco Cape Thundering as always, you know you love it, and I'll catch you guys next week. Get a gold star for attendance, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And I'll catch you guys next time. See you guys, and have a good week. See you guys.